Just to welcome you to this Baraza today, I can see there are a bit of some terminologies for welcoming in the previous slide. For this one, I'll do it, and just to highlight the things that we do as Africa Design, and then the background to this workshop, which is also going to be quite highlighted, and I'm sure in the material that you received, you also saw a number of aspects. So just the background is that we've been doing some work as Africa Design around design education, collaborative design. We also, in fact, conducted even Baraza around health system design, social benefits, and so on. So product service systems, sustainable design. So two key aspects, that is sustainability and design, stand out. And then the other important aspect is as it is on the next slide. So if we just go to the next slide, is the linkage between Africa and the regions beyond Africa. Yeah, so as we stand, we are actually an initiative of the Design Society, and the goal is to link whether it's researchers, educators, and all practitioners who are in the African context or countries with those that are actually not within the African context. So within this, we've had a number of already some output and some work that we've been doing over the years, which we can highlight into more or less one sentence. So mutual learning, opportunities, and the challenges we all share. And that is the key point, that there are similarities that we even managed to identify during the period that we've been together. And with these similarities, we find them to be actually opportunities for us to collaborate and to innovate. So of course, we encourage engagement and ideas so that then we can be able to progress. Within the organizing team, we have a number of people, that is both faculty who are serving in various universities mainly, and then also a student team which also supports the activities of Africa Design. So for faculty, I suspect I need to allow them also to speak, just to, because I know a number of them have already managed to hop in. So Margareta, I know I've seen she's here. She's managed to just sort out the audio. So I'd allow her just to say to greet us, and then Susanne, also from KTH, Panos is also here. Myself, Bernard, also I'm here already. I've spoken, and then we have Dunya, and then Yarika, and Michelle. So that is the organizing team. But perhaps I'll just ask them, because I'm not sure if they'll get a chance to speak. Yeah, so based on the schedule, I may allow them just to say hi at some point when I'm concluding my outline of the workshop today. So this is the outline as it is. The introduction, as you can see, the steering team, which I will just highlight after this slide. I will allow them to speak after this. And then we'll have session 1, which is about global classroom, which will be facilitated by a number of facilitators who are already here. And then we have another session, which I happen to be one of the facilitators for this session, and I'm already here. And then the third session, which is the design tools, practice-oriented session, and highly practical, so that's another session that we'll have. After that, we'll just do a bit of a recap before we end this session. So of course, we expect to have a very interesting interactive session. We are here mainly to exchange ideas, as we often appreciate, and therefore that's what we look forward to during today's session. So with this, I'm sure there's nothing really on the next slide. So for the next, I'll just allow it. So we'll just go back so that maybe I can allow the team, the organizing team, to just say something. So I don't know, we'll go past Margareta. We can go with the order of names.
I think this icebreaker, I asked Michelle or Dunya to run that one, please.
So, yes, I thought you were saying hi, Magan, first.
Magan, I just wanted you to greet and say hi, and then yes.
Of course. Hi, everybody. I'm Margareta. I'm Magan. Margareta Norell Bergendahl from KTH. Professor Emeritus in product development. Happy to see you all here.
Thank you. Trying to check Susanne here. I'm sure he'll be telling us a bunch of parts. Just say hi so they can see you.
So maybe Panos should say hello also.
Yeah,
We are
hi.
the senior ones. Yeah.
Right. Hello, everyone. I just posted in the chat a link to a paper that this team has written that describes what has been done in the last roughly 3 years. So I would encourage you to take a look at the paper and maybe attend. I'll give you more background of what our Africa design team has been doing. Nice to be with you.
Very good.
Thank you, Panos. So our link is there on the chat. You could just so then you can see you can go through the paper, and then the next I'll go to the student team. Myself, I already introduced myself. So here I can see. So I'm just ensuring that it's magnified so that I can see. Dunya, you could just say hi.
Yeah. Good afternoon and good morning, wherever you are. I'm Dunya, Student Support for Africa Design from Brookfield University.
Thank you. Niharika, can see you are there.
Hello, everyone. I'm Niharika. I'm studying integrated product design. I'm a master's student at KTH.
Thank you. Michelle. Hi.
Yes, greetings everyone. I'm from Strathmore University in Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm currently supporting Africa Design. Nice to meet you all. Yes, and I think Megan should mention apologies for Susanne, who's unable to be with us here today, but fully represented in the workshop.
Thank you. Yeah, so we will go to the next bit right away. I think that's exactly so. I know someone is going to assist me.
Yes. So just to start us off, if you're able to kindly access, we'll type it in the chat as well, the link to the Menti, and you can be able to access it. And as well, you can try scan the code through your phone. I think it's easier. You could just use your phone to access the Menti link. And if not, if Nanika, you can allow me to share my screen. You can stop sharing, I can share mine. Thank you. Okay, and I'm also going to share my screen, and you could be able to use the code, go to Menti, let me just type it as well, and then use the code. Yeah, thank you, Duns, for that. Yeah, I'm glad you could see my screen. And of course, it's going to say how many people have joined. So we're going to wait. I see we are 15. So we're going to give some couple of seconds for the rest of the team to join. So you could go to menti.com and use the code 9791. I can type the link as the code here. 9791 9726. To be able to access the quiz. So in summary, as we are doing and joining, we'll be naming a country, and you'll try and guess the capital city of that country. And in the spirit of not leaving anyone behind, we've decided to provide multiple choice answers, then you can pick one. So you won't be guessing from nowhere. So yes, I see we're moving now. We're almost, okay, we're at 8, maybe a few more minutes for the other. You can use your phone, you can use your laptop, whichever works for you. So maybe if you can get the number to 10, that would be nice, since I see we're 14 now. So 10, if I can get one more person to join, 10, 11 to join. Yeah, because I have to subtract myself. So let's say 10. Okay, great. So I can start. That would be nice. So I hope we're all ready. So as I was saying, the rules of the game is that we'll name a country in the African continent, and you'll be tasked by guessing the capital city of it. Easy for you. It's a multiple choice, so it won't be that hard. And yes, most of the instructions will be visible as well as we move along. Okay, let's start. Okay. Yeah, and as well, the faster you answer, the more points you get. So what is the capital city of Mauritania? That's the first question. What is the capital city of Mauritania? 10 people have answered. Everyone has voted. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, Bamako. Meanwhile, you can take your time later to be able to see, because the other options are also capital cities of other countries. So in your future time, you can remember these names and you can go back and look into it. We'll go to the next questions. There are 5 questions in total. Ready. What is that? Oh, wow, already? Sorry. Where has that shown before? Sorry about that. Yeah. What is the capital city of? Sorry about that. Of Somalia. Okay. I don't know why it has shown responses already. Let me just stop share. Okay. I don't know, has everybody else been able to vote? I'll just stop share for a second to understand that.
Michelle, on my side, I was not able to vote. It automatically said you didn't vote.
Okay. Let me just stop that just a second.
I had the same problem. I'm too slow.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Wow.
I gotta drink more
We
coffee.
We tested this right before, so I don't understand what has happened. So sorry about that. Just a second.
No.
Yeah. Meanwhile, if that doesn't work, we could as well, but the other option would have been harder. But just a second, if I can just try to see.
I think we may just.
Okay, so I think it's giving me.
It's good now.
Issues. Yeah.
Something
So
you didn't vote.
The options, we go to the next one.
yeah, because now it will show the option. So what we can probably do is because then I can.
Yeah, continue, please.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's just continue.
It's just that I only knew this answer.
Yeah, unfortunately. So we can just continue. Niharika, you can share, and we could start, and we can do this later once I probably sort it. We can try this later.
So we go to the next slide. Right?
Yes, let's start. Yeah.
And I could give some talk on this one. The goal with our workshop today is, of course, to discuss some important issues that is stated for this workshop. The first is the concept of global classrooms. What is significant and how can we use it in a good way? And also the second session is about the consequences of teaching, how to train teachers and how to manage the quite new situations that we have. And those are the major two sessions we have. And then closer to the end, we have an interesting session on give information about design tools. There are a lot of them, but we have choose some of them that could support the dealing with sustainable development and design, of course. And we all of course hope us to use each other as a smart resource, so we don't do what we could do one by one, but we do it together and give away and take away new knowledge. And of course, we do hope that we all should bring home new ideas, potential new friends to collaborate with, and maybe some new thoughts on how to teach for sustainability. So that's the goals of our workshop, and it all depends on your engagement, of course. So we continue just now with the global classroom session. So we can take this one should be headed by Susanne, but as many have said now, we have conflicting in the agenda. So I'll take some part of it instead of her. So and also Dunia and Michelle, the one that you met before. So we got next slide, please. There are several definitions of global classrooms, so we have to a little bit narrow it down to what we mean today, not to take all parts of it. We say that it's a way to work to deal with courses that really do with the cross-disciplinary challenges and cross-cultural work, and of course people coming from different parts dealing with the same or the common assignments. That's what we can do with the global classroom, and it's very often run online, but could also be run in rooms, in ERL, so to say. So the typical is in the way we pronounce it today, is that the sustainable challenges, they manifest locally. On the other hand, we do have somewhat many related challenges. So what we have learned is that it's really great to work together and to learn about the color of the challenges in different parts of the globe, and to do solutions, of course, require coordinated and collaborative efforts. To do this also require specific competence. So we have to learn, both as teachers and for students, on how to do this. It's not only about knowledge, it's about skills, it's about tools and attitudes. Do you want to learn, or don't you? And of course, as teachers, especially we as old teachers, it demands really new ways of teaching. And the students need to be capable of working across both national and cultural boundaries. And personally, I would say that that's not the main problem. The main problem with this change is not the students, it's more on the teacher side, I would say. But I think there is a great potential into this new concept. So we can take the next slide, please. We will give you two examples. One of which is the one that Susanne was very engaged in. It was a challenge-driven innovation and entrepreneurship in resource complex settings. And this is a drone picture of Johannesburg. And the typical on this kind of cities is that there are really two different parts, two different neighborhoods, where one is rich and the other one is more like a township. And what happens in these cultural clashes, so to say, and how to deal with different challenges. So next slide, please. What they did last year, please, thank you. Last year, Susanne and some colleagues of her, they established a 1-week online course with master level students from many different parts of the earth, Asia, Europe, and Africa. And they were also from different disciplines. And the students checked and addressed local defined societal challenges in township in Cape Town. And they learned how to deal with this together with their classmates. And what was the learning outcome when they did this? We'll come more to details later. They learned to identify and develop frugal product and service innovation in very special, very resource thin settings, and how they could work with that and also how system complexity of different scales of a system impact how the challenges are perceived and addressed and possible to give some solutions to. So it's a very not only complex but combination learning in this kind of course. So we take the next slide, please. To get into this, the students were asked to give some assignment before they started. So they had to upload a video or a text file presenting themselves to tell about who they are and their interest and where they come from and what they expect from this course. And also take part of material describing the setting of the challenge. And the design, more practically, in this online course was there were teams of 5 to 6 students, all from different parts of the earth. They should define local challenges and relate them to the SDGs, the Sustainable Global Challenges. And every day it was the theory and the practice was mixed, so to say. So there were theory sessions on innovation and design and system change and systems development. And they also included fieldwork, what means that the students had to get out to different stakeholders, both NGOs and companies and community leaders. And every morning they made their reflections, and the team, they developed a very interesting product service innovation and a business plan by the end of this only week. And that's a fantastic result, which is hard to believe. And the students, if you, Nerika, take the next picture, please, they really enjoyed this course for only 1 week. And those are some of the quotes from the students. Little did I know that what I was about to undertake, and it was a life-changing and perceptual reframing. And one student say, only during the first lectures, I realized how utterly wrong I have been in my mindset to what entrepreneurship is. When the challenge within the context is put in focus instead of the solution, it opened my mind to what can be achieved through innovation. And the last one, this summer course, was one of the most demanding yet inspiring courses that I took. It helped me understand how to make the best with the given resources and use them efficiently and to improve my team working skills. So these are the 3 typical students. All of them were very, very surprised and satisfied with their learning during this course, only 1 week. So let's now turn to another example where Dunya or Michelle will tell about the more ERL global classroom. Please.
Yes. Dunya and I were able to, through a partnership between GDH and our home universities, attend an Open Lab course. So Open Lab is a challenge-driven innovation community that offers courses to PhD and master's university students to support in innovation and co-creation spaces for partners they have. So Dunya and I took the Challenges for Emerging Cities course, and where we are able to apply design thinking principles and methods to address problems that are faced in Stockholm community. And this will be a collaboration between the different partner universities, KTH Stockholm University, Södertörn and Karolinska Institute, and in collaboration in partnership with the Stockholm municipality and the Stockholm city region. What would that summatively mean would be that would be able to work into groups, and Harika, you could go to the next slide, to be able to address some of the challenges that were presented by Stockholm city. Yeah. So what we do is with development of innovative solutions that would address challenges I was saying that were inherently provided by Stockholm City Council. And what we'll do is that we'll work with real users and real stakeholders from the community. Some of the examples we led is one, the Stockholm City Council was trying to understand how they could make Stockholm be livable or attractive to people from the region, for example, from Europe. And then most of the areas that I usually covered in this course would be sustainable urban development, healthcare, education, and the aging populations. And if you notice this, these are problems that are inherently specific to Stockholm municipality. This would be different if it was being done into other regions. So the importance and the good thing of the global classroom is that it could be put into different contexts. For example, in my case, when I understood the general principles in the working of Open Lab, I felt, you know what, this is something I could actually take back in my home country. And in this case, as you've seen, these partners have come from a specific region, but that's not exactly the exact way that this could happen. It's a very innovative approach that could happen where different people from different countries and from different regions, not only from one region, but from different parts in a different country or different parts of the world or in the different parts of the continent, can be able to collaborate as well to create more specific and innovative solutions to their problems. One of the ideas and the techniques we used is, like, of course, design thinking methods, such as the design thinking approach, which you can see we use the empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. And in our specific course, we did this twice to be able to come up with almost the best solution that is really addressing the exact problem that we had. And I had mentioned before, this challenge are presented by the main stakeholders, and we get to interview the stakeholders to understand the problem and the possible causes. Next slide, please.
Okay, then after all of this, the solutions are presented to the stakeholders who presented us with the challenge, or the teams with the challenge, after 2 design thinking method iterations. So we do the whole process twice and come up with the best solution to present to our challenge givers. The teams in Open Lab are made up from a range of ages and various professional and personal backgrounds. So you can have someone who's 60, as we had in our class, or someone who's 25. So everyone works together from all different parts of the world and all different backgrounds. The team dynamics are something to look at as well, and are very fundamental to the success of the project. So team contracts are established to form good working relationships with each other, knowing each other's strengths, weaknesses, how the tasks are going to be shared out, and how you will communicate with your team for the duration of the project as well. A lot of out-of-the-box thinking ideas, such as lots of stand-up meetings, using Post-its, going outside just outside the university to see what everyday objects you can see outside that can relate to your challenge. So like it says here, individual and group brainstorming, we idea clustered, thinking outside the confines of norms. So this brings us to the next part, where the teaching methods were totally different, coming up from a traditional school where you raise your hand, you speak when you're spoken to. It was totally a different world going to Open Lab. You could stand up, talk, walk around, use Post-its, so interactive, and never ever limited you in how far your solution or your ideas could go. So it was very, very it was very opening. And we used to focus on workshops and lectures one day of the week, and then we would work with our team another day of the week, and the class would be the entire day from 8 to 4, twice a week. The contextual differences, for example, in the problem, like Michelle had mentioned earlier, is different problems for different regions. And in this case, we think here, like coming from Africa, that our main problem is how to deal with access to education. Where on the other hand, in the society that we were doing the challenge with, they were looking for devices and how to bring in digital devices and platforms to kids in kindergarten. So yes, the challenges are different, but all one and the same. Next slide, please. And then some pictures from our Open Lab experience. On the top left, role playing and storytelling at the top. Under that, prototyping. To the right of that, we moved to the empathizing stage when we met with various stakeholders that were part of our challenge. And to the right, always stand-up meetings and clustering, lots of Post-its gone through there. Thank you very much. We can go to the next slide, for the breakout discussions. Magan, would you like to explain the questions?
Yes, please. Yes. Now to the important thing, the interaction between all the members in this workshop. We want you to discuss this question at least, or this example. You should, of course, find the most important questions to you. And we want you to think about what experience, tell each other what experience do you have of designing or being part of a global classroom, and share that with your friends around the table. And if you would offer a global classroom, what would be the content and the design of it? Who is the one that you would like to invite? And the third that you could take before the second, of course, if you like, what parameters would you use to know if your global classroom is a success or not? So these are our advices on the discussion themes, so to say. And before we divide you into teams, we also here would like to show some rules of the game in the teams. So if you take the next slide, of course, this is obviously not surprising, but please allow everyone a chance to speak and keep time. Our idea now is that we have the total breakup session as 30 minutes from now. I think we should start the next session or break in half an hour. So you need to have 20 plus minutes, and we will tell when it's coming to an end. And then we have 20 minutes at the end, by the end, before 14:20, before 14:20 now, to recap what was the main discussions and main funding in your group. So we kindly ask you to try to keep time. And then, of course, we listen respectfully to and actively to each other and avoid criticizing. Build upon each other and get inspired by each other. Is there anything to build on, or is there anything I don't agree on? So I think now we have you with us, Robert, don't we?
Yeah, I'm here, yeah.
Yeah. Would you help us? Are we 16 or 18 people in this group now?
At the moment, there are 19 people in this session.
Okay.
So how many breakouts would you like?
I think we would like to have 3 then.
How many?
3.
So three breakout rooms.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
And please, from now, we have 16 minutes to discuss and then 10 minutes to report.
So for how long do you want me to have the breakout rooms? For how many minutes?
Well, make it 80. Make 80 minutes, please.
80.
18.
18. Okay. I will create breakouts now. 3 breakouts, and you will be randomly assigned to the breakouts.
Very good. Would you like us to show this? The picture on the question, then we could put it in the rooms, right?
Yeah, or you can leave it in the main session here, so you can choose you. Oh, hello, Michelle. Have you been assigned to? Okay.
This is going to be interesting.
Time was not on our side.
Even we, the youngins, are being shown dust. The platform is educating us.
Yeah, you know, I mean, that's global classroom.
even after
It's
taking
good
a tutorial about it, here we are.
So we got cut off completely, automatically.
Yeah. I don't know if you're gonna be able to go to the same room. I don't know if Robert is here. Robert, are you here? I don't know if he's here.
He must have pushed past the 18 minutes or 16 minutes that.
Yeah, because I also wanted to understand. Oh wow. Okay, I don't know if Robert is, but let me try get to the main session and see if we can get some help.
I think this is the main session.
Yeah,
This is the main workshop session, but I think
Yeah.
she's there. Here's Robert.
Oh,
I
is
think we
Robert?
were
Hello.
just disconnected.
I'm here. I had some problems with audio, so sorry.
Okay.
Was everything fine with the breakouts?
We were cut off.
So is it possible for us to go back as we were, or will be randomized again?
Yeah, we'll be randomized again. So
Oh,
okay, but
now
but
what
I
we
can
could do.
I can give you external links to rooms, to extra virtual rooms, so you can go there as you want to, not randomized.
Yeah.
I think
So-
that'll be great. Panos wants to say something as well.
It's okay.
I think it
don't
would be
create
great
more
to give
noise.
us the links. It will be much better because I think we probably remember. I think mine was room 3.
Okay, I will
And
send the links to you in the chat, Michelle.
Kindly.
There's some people who were not able to return. So everybody who's like listening but who's not in the session, can you please join the session from the top right?
Where are we? I don't know how to do this.
So I'm going to share this in the chat.
Michelle, I sent you 3 rooms, so maybe we can share it in the main chat and try to go back as it was before. So
Yeah, hopefully. Let me do that now. Okay. Michelle. Just a minute as I try to do that. So that's the link for group 1. Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, the numbers are at the end. Yeah, great. Thank you, Robert.
Michelle, how much longer are we going to go to these rooms for? When do you want us to come back?
Let me just
okay. I shared the links to the rooms numbered from 1 to 3. So please go back to your room where you were. Just click on the link, and the new virtual room will pop up, and you'll be there. Similar as breakouts.
Okay. So maybe about 5 minutes. Let me just. You can go back, and then I'll send an overall general chat after I consult with Margareta. Yeah.
Please mute microphone. Thank you.
Megan, how long would you want us to go back to the chat because we weren't able to conclude?
No.
So how long? We shouldn't go back?
Actually,
You're muted.
I was thrown out. So.
Oh.
But now I'm back.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I put the timer for 18 minutes, as you
Right.
said, so it
That's
was automatically
exactly
closed.
what we asked for. I think we should now go and present what we have. That's the only way to do it. Otherwise, we lose control totally over the full session. So I think we have to tell about what was discussed in the different group now.
Okay. So we shouldn't go back to the breakout rooms?
No.
Okay. So Robert, you'll close the breakout rooms, please.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
They're closed automatically, so.
Okay.
So we start with the first group, which is
Yeah, breakout room 1. I can report back because I took notes so I was just acting as a scribe, so trying to represent everybody's views. I think we mainly spoke about 2 different experiences, one from Michigan with some students from Botho and Margareta in 2020. One of the things that made it easy was that it was graded by faculty at each institution, so they didn't have to worry about the cross-institution sort of credentialing. Some of the main challenges I think we're seeing today was the connectivity, and that the benefits were the collaboration between the students, so having the teams where the students were able to interact with each other. Professor Papalambros felt that, you know, there was a lot of maturity and different experiences from the different groups of students that they were able to interact and share, and so that was really positive for the Michigan students. And then the other professors shared about both Strathmore collaborative course projects, and they were thinking about for measuring success, so the normal student evaluations, but also the percent of sort of real life project implementations and solutions being used. So how many of the projects can you get to that level where they're actually being implemented? Some of the challenges were the conflict between end user outcomes and academic outcomes. So, you know, trying to think about balance that in this global, now you have a lot more stakeholders. But also that the virtual interactions made it a little harder to gauge student strengths and weaknesses. So it required a lot more patience from the instructors. But that the differences in group dynamics was one of the benefits from that you would have these sort of very different style groups that students would get practice working within. And that's sort of where we got cut off in the middle of that thought. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure what the final thoughts of Shinandu would have to share at the end of that thought, but that's sort of what we had. Okay. Anyone from my group can chime in. I'm just trying to synthesize.
I would like Shinandu to finish up talking, because what was exactly the team dynamics that you're talking about? Shinandu, please.
Yeah, Shinandu.
Okay, the group dynamics is, you know, when it's something we've always been interested in. It's for example, like when we work with our local students, because we normally you'll find that the students from the different departments tend to work together, and then also the way they interact with each other, we can pick up, because we know the traits, we can pick up the patterns in those traits. But then with a totally new group, these students, for the first time, they're working with people they don't know. These students are in another country, and but we put them in groups together. We didn't have like a group just for Buto University students. We had a group that had 2 or 3 Buto University students, or 2 or 3 students from Strathmore. And it was just interesting to find out, okay, how is this, as a group, how are they going to gel? How are they going to organize work? How are they going to identify the parameters within which they work? Now that they're dealing with people that they have never met before, who come from a totally different culture from them, and they also have different language skills. Because I noticed, for example, the students from Strathmore had a much better command of English compared to ours. But then it could have been because they're also slightly older than our students. Or maybe even issues like time management, okay? Or how they're going to organize their work. So it was just interesting to see, is this group going to break up at some point in time, or is it actually going to gel and work? And what we noticed is that over time the groups gelled and they actually worked.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shinandu. Interesting. And we have to rush to the next group. I think it's you, Nyarika, right?
Yes, I can summarize what we discussed. So we were talking about what defines a global classroom, that to see if we were in a global classroom, and we saw that depends on who is in the classroom to make it global, as well as like how it is conducted. And one distinction we try to make between a traditional classroom and a global classroom is that we set objectives, but these objectives can be different between different people. So it's important to like set them in the beginning of the class. And then the thing about global classrooms is that it should be able to change the objectives so that you can improve the course and improve the objectives as time goes on. And along with that, we also discussed whether the mode of delivery is effective, because we have so many tools, and we can see Hopin is confusing for us right now as well. So is the mode of delivery really effective, and what kind of tools do we have to be able to make it effective? And so we're thinking about what situation is a global classroom effective, and like what situation can it replace traditional classrooms? And we thought it depends on the participants that are involved or the age group. But despite this, a lot of students, even though the younger students need a lot of instruction, they are also pretty good at getting inspired and learning from each other, and also learning from the stakeholders, so the people around them, and picking up on the challenges that are presented to them. And as long as they have that motivation and curiosity, they will be able to succeed in a global classroom. And in that case, like, there's a lot of potential in the youth for this development, and also a lot of challenges as well. But when all of these different like points of views combine in a global classroom, that's what like changes perspectives, makes it very eye-opening, and a lot to learn from. So challenge-driven education is not the only way we can make a difference, but it is a good way to make an immediate impact in students' lives.
Thank you. Thank you. And now the third one. Who was that?
That was us in breakout room 3, Michelle, Milena, Nina, and Ashuza. Ashuza, would you like to present on our behalf by any chance, if you're there? Okay, I'm not sure that he is there. But anyway, to summarize, we had some trouble in our breakout room when we couldn't hear some of our participants. But basically, from Ashuza's point of view, he said that he had also participated in Open Lab through the GDH program, and it was very global. So everyone comes from somewhere different, but they're still able to communicate the common idea. The challenges are applied are local, but in his opinion, can be applied globally as well. And it's something that he took back home with him to Kenya as well. And the diversity in teams, and everyone could understand you even if you came from different places. Milena, on the other hand, hadn't had much experience with global classrooms, but has worked with Engineers Without Borders, so also communicates with various partners. And what parameters would you use to know your global classroom course was a success? And like we said, different backgrounds, socially or scientifically, professionally, and all of that. Teachers and students must be equally involved, and writing down your different expectations and goals at the beginning, then check these at the end to make sure that the needs were met. And we didn't have a chance to get to the third question, unfortunately.
Thank you. Thank you, Dunia.
Thank you.
I think it is, we should all share this document, and we can read about each other, because it's so difficult to get a full discussion around this now. So we will make it available for all of you as the slides, and also, so that's the best we can do now. And of course we should have a break. We just decided we will not have a full 10 minutes. We will have more like 5 minutes, and we hope that you will come back in only 5 minutes to continue with the next session. Is that doable? Yes, Panos, I see your hand.
Yeah, the Google Doc that we used is available to everyone, so they can even continue to edit material that has not been included right now.
That's
so
a very
we can
good
do
point.
this in real time. Yeah.
That's a
Thank
very
you.
good point, Panos. And we should also please write your names and mail addresses, and so if you're interested to follow up on this discussion, it's very nice if you do so. Thank you. So, well, let's make it 7 minutes. 35. We meet at 35. Is that okay? Okay.
Yes.
Take a break and a cup of coffee or whatever you like. See you soon.
hey Panos. Maybe for the next breakout rooms, they could do put up the tiny URLs like they did here earlier.
Yeah, Jesse, no problem. I can leave them here in the chat, or I can make breakouts last longer. So you manually go back to main session. It's pretty much the same. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that some of the participants, like Panos and I, are at the same university, and we were in the same breakout room randomly.
Oh, I understand.
So
okay.
it would be nice to be able to select, like, oh, let me go to the other breakout room,
No
so
problem.
that we get more
No
variety.
problem. Yeah.
So
Good
I think
point.
that it would be good.
Okay.
It would be good to have it the way you have it here.
Okay,
that would be perfect.
great.
Thank
great.
you, Robert.
No problem. I will leave the tiny URLs in the chat, so you can join whichever room you want. So.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Robert, for your help.
Yeah, no sorry, Prof. Panos. Hi, Prof. Panos.
Yeah, what's up, Peter?
Yeah, good morning, Prof. I just want to confirm. Sorry, my internet has been misbehaving, so it's like that's why I've been on and off. I don't want to confirm what is I don't know the schedule. Is it going to be like for the whole day?
No, it's until 4:30 Central European time. So be 7 hours ahead, 6 hours ahead of us.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
So it should be done by 10:30. 10:30.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, Bernard. How are you?
Yeah.
Hi, Anders.
Hi. Hi, Magan.
Hey, Anders. Hey. So we are back on track, and we welcome, of course, Anders and Bernard. You met Bernard before, but Anders is new to us now, so very welcome. And please, we leave the floor to you.
Yeah, so we could start moving. It's already 5 past.
Right.
Niharika, I think you could assist me. Yes, thank you. So I will just make the opening remarks, but then this session I'm going to facilitate myself and Anders, who's you can see on the screen there. So you just put the next, please. Just some brief profiles for the both of us, again, that are there on the screen. So myself, I'm senior lecturer at Strathmore University here in Kenya. Part of my administrative responsibilities that I'm actually in charge of graduate studies in the university. And then in terms of research, computational sustainability research group is the group that I head here. And of course, as Ali indicated, I'm also happen to be also a member of the Africa Design Steering Committee. And then Anders, on the other hand, who's my co-facilitator, is an associate professor at KTH in Stockholm. And he's also the director, the deputy director of the KTH Global Development Hub. So there is a lot of research that he does, a lot in terms of in the area of development and teacher training, sustainability aspects and transformation, particularly through education. So on the next slide, perhaps then you will be able to hear the Anders' voice. So Niharika, so Anders, if you can assist me here onwards.
Yes, thank you, Bernard, and hello, everybody. As Bernard said, I'm the Deputy Director of the KTH Global Development Hub, and this is a partnership for mutual capacity building for sustainable societal transformations through education, innovation, and research. The world, I didn't participate in the first session here. I guess you have treated issues there, but our global society is fundamentally unsustainable. In rich countries like Sweden, we are over-consuming natural resources and have a large impacts on the ecosystem and the planetary system. And wealth and power and justice is fundamentally unequally distributed in our planets. And the Global Development Hub was started on those premises, and what we can do through collaboration and mutual learning. This was initiated by KTH, but we see it as a completely mutual collaboration between these partners. Now, some logos have disappeared here in the picture, but there should be also Strathmore University in Kenya there. You see the logo from University of Dar es Salaam and Both University. So it's initially these 4 universities collaborating on education, innovation, and research. Bernard, please, next slide. And one of the things that we are doing is that we are developing and supporting the implementation of a concept for challenge-driven education. And this is an impact-oriented, project-based learning approach where multi-perspective student teams collaborate with various external stakeholders in projects that are addressing societal challenges related to the Sustainable Development Goals in UN's 2030 Agenda. And as described by this picture, we see this as 2 parallel processes. One learning process, this is education, so it's the prime goal is the students learning, but it's also an innovation process. And in contrast to other project-based learning approaches, we are with this approach aiming for societal impact. So you can see here that the first left half of this picture, that's where the education, or like what we implement in formal education, we bring, and this is being done in modules and in courses at our respective universities, where students, we bring in external stakeholders, identify societal challenges, and the students are collaborating with external stakeholders in developing solutions that address those challenges. And we have learning outcomes, as always in education, but we also have project outcomes. And that's a thing with challenge-based learning or challenge-driven education, to find a balance, to drive the students' learning, but at the same time, we want the project outcomes to be taken further, maybe by the involved external stakeholders, to have actual impact and be implemented in society. And we also see an important role of this kind of learning approach to support the students in becoming change agents, so that they go out after education and change society. Next slide, please, Bernard. And you can jump yet one more slide. I think we skipped that one. So to support teachers in implementing this, we have developed a number of teacher training modules. Well, could we please mute the sound there? And a module here, we have been providing this teacher training or training of trainers in different formats. What we're running right now, this semester at KTH, it's these 6 modules. And one module, it requires about 10 hours of work for the participants. So teachers, higher education teachers are taking this course, and they work with some preparation within the module. Then we have half-day online webinar. And then in parallel with taking part in these modules, they are working on a course development assignment. So some teachers come in with a traditional lecture-based course, and maybe they infuse some project-based elements, or they bring in a stakeholder. Other teachers, they come in with a large, already functioning project-based course, but through this training, maybe they are emphasizing sustainability aspects, and maybe they are developing their courses so that they bring in other types of stakeholders. The first module, it considers principles and motivations for challenge-driven education, sustainable development concepts, and sustainability competences, the competences we need to change society in a sustainable direction. Module 2 considers the actual building of the learning approach and the learning opportunity. For example, how to formulate learning objectives, assessment of students working in teams in open-ended projects. That's an issue, and other issues in this kind of team-based, multidisciplinary, project-based learning. Module 3 considers design methodologies. So that's the methodologies that often is being used by the students in identifying societal challenges, collaborating and empathizing with various stakeholders and potential users, and driving the solution of these things that they work with. Module 4 considers the engagement of external stakeholders, and also issues around how do we identify appropriate challenges for the students to work in this kind of learning. And the 5th module considers the changing role of teachers, that university teachers are generally comfortable in being experts in their subject, in their disciplines, and teaching the students about that. But in challenge-driven education, the teachers have to step down on the floor and take a role of a facilitator or a coach, and accept that the teachers don't have answers on all the questions that arise in this kind of learning. And the 6th module, the participants are sharing the course development that they have been working with, and sharing ideas about that. Next slide, please, Bernard. Here, some live pictures from our 4 universities when we are running teacher training. We have been doing this, as I said, now we're doing it online. A benefit in that is that we can put together teachers from our different universities to meet online and go through this training together. But of course, there's also benefit sometimes when we meet, and we have met at all our universities for IRL workshops about these issues. Bernard, I hand over to you. You're running this kind of training also at Strathmore University, aren't you?
Yes, thank you. I will take the participants through the next set of slides. So they just need to ensure that I'm looking at it in full screen. So yes, so the way that has been done is maybe just to highlight is that we have all these, I think something that I had mentioned earlier in one of our discussions is that we actually have a situation whereby the partner universities are also working amongst themselves, which is something that we really want to also look at, so that we have also partnership within the African level as opposed to just having the African country and the KTH partner. So that is something that's also quite outstanding and has picked up over the recent past years. This one I'll allow you to make comments, and then I can perhaps make comments on the next one onwards. I can guide the rest.
Yes, this is just to give you an insight in one of the implementations of challenge-driven education at KTH. It's a large course. You can see it's 22.5 credits. That means that the students spend 3/4 of their time over a whole semester. So it's a very big course. And here, different real-world challenges are provided by various external stakeholders. Once, for example, one of the big hospitals in Stockholm provided a challenge that concerned hospitally acquired infections. So you generally go to a hospital to become cured, but quite many, I think it's 7-8% of all people who go to hospital to be cured, they actually get infected by being at the hospital, and that's in Sweden, and it can be even more in other countries. And that's, of course, a very big societal problem with that kind. So here the hospital provided that challenge and basically asked the students, please solve this in some way. So the students went to the hospital, they interviewed doctors, nurses, patients, and tried to grasp what can we do within the frames of the course that we're taking and learning what we should learn in this course. So here it was a multi-perspective team with students both from KTH and from Boto University in Botswana, where we have a student exchange program. And they developed a solution in terms of an automated bed washing system. So the picture you can see to the right, it's 6 or 7 floors in the hospital building. So it's a gigantic installation. And there was already an automated transport system in the hospital. And they designed an automated bed washing system in the basement to release the nurses from the work. They are doing a lot of cleaning just to mitigate these hospital acquired infections, and instead making an automated system which can do that cleaning more efficiently with less environmental input and let the nurses work with what they actually are good at and what they should do with their competences. So just to give you a little insight in one type of challenge that students can face in this type of learning. Please, Bernard, you have some examples from Nairobi and Strathmore, I think. Oh, I think you're muted.
Dr. Shibwabo, you're muted.
Bernard, please, you're muted, I think.
Maybe it's doing that thing that I don't know. It's like on and off because we can't hear you, Dr. Shibwabo. Still.
Great. Now you can hear me. I think I muted myself. Sorry. Great. Yeah. So perhaps I'll just link what you've said already in the previous slide with what is here. Then I could proceed from here as I guide the discussions. So the key point that even at Strathmore University, we have designed courses around challenge-driven aspects. Those courses are there, and a number of aspects are very important to highlight. The assessment bit, how should the assessment be done, especially in group environments, and then of course the general design, the objects for the course, and so on. So all those have been clarified, and I think one of the wonderful aspects to mention is that we have having, for example, students coming from Sweden to study at Strathmore University, and we kind of speak the same language because the understanding of the course design at KTH and at Strathmore are similar. And then given that we also brought, we also culminate around sustainability, the aspects around ensuring that we contribute towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, then there is a common understanding in the designs of the courses. So with this, then I will now go to the examples here. So we have one example, or several examples, actually two that are on the slides. But the one to start with is, you can think of a charcoal refrigerator. So innovations around being able to store produce in a way that the produce doesn't get bad. So charcoal refrigerator is one, and then the second one, which is probably the one that's on the screen already, is and this is very interesting because this has also been done by mathematics teaching staff, because people sometimes look at mathematics and feel like it's a bit boring, a boring subject. So we have a mathematics staff who was from our university who has done very well in terms of the students. When the students join the course at the beginning of the semester, they are assigned a challenge. Students in the entire class, they are assigned a challenge, and the challenge is about social aspects. So they need to apply the mathematical they're studying to social aspects, and a number of them have managed to grow businesses, because we have these informal businesses, as you can see on that picture, the first one, which require solutions. They need ways to improve so that then they can grow their businesses. So we have very many, actually this is an example that actually has so many different success scenarios, given that the people who are involved in these businesses, some of them really do not have that capacity to do that, and therefore they need education, and they need more or less provision of consultancy services so that then they can do this. Of course, free consultancy. Thank you. So that is what I can say. No, Anders, you started with the other example. So I will go to the next slide, where I will guide our discussion. So in the archive, please just, yes. So I will pick up, starting from what Anders has indicated. If you remember, there was actually a slide that I think I'll share with you the link, that was focusing specifically on teacher training modules. So there are a number of modules that have been presented. So I like us to have some discussions around this. It's going to take just about 20 minutes maximum. The key module that we'll focus on is the modules are 5, but then you need to focus on the 6 modules and see exactly which are the things that are missing. That is number 1. Are they relevant? So more or less discussions around the same. And then trying to link this with your local context. That is number 2. Number 3 is just opportunities and barriers around the same. And then number 4 is stakeholder engagement. So of course, I've noticed that we have 3 breakout rooms and we have 4 discussion items. So my expectation is that you're still going back to 3 breakout rooms. If that is the case, perhaps I'll just start with sharing with you the link so that we have everything together.
Please, the links for the breakout rooms are now in the chat, so feel free to choose the breakout room you want to. We're not going to make the random breakout rooms again.
Good. Yes.
So after the discussion, please come back to the main session.
Great. So just take
maybe
that.
Yeah, just sorry, no, I was going to say that we're going to use the same document.
No,
yeah, we are using the same, right?
That's what I wanted to ask. It's a different one?
No, to ensure that we get, perhaps we have divergent opinions, I will allow you to use your own documents. I think I'm providing this as the question because with what I've provided, the reference material, which is the training modules, the 6 training modules, and then the questions themselves. So that's the reason why I had to separate so that you have both page. So you can use your own kind of private group space to combine what you have. Given that teams are going to be working on, there are teams that are going to work on overlapping items, and I think it's good to just open up the discussions without a group influencing another group. So the first group will work on question 1 and 2. So 1 and 2. And then the next group will work on question 2 and 3. So just take note of that, 2 and 3. Or they discuss part 2 and 3. That is, if you look at them as parts of questions. And then the third group will look at 3 and 4. So that's how we like you to look at, to go through it, given that we are going to be in only 3 breakout rooms. So 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4. Good. So you have 15 to 20 minutes maximum. I would, given the time from what I'm seeing here, perhaps I will need to go for 15 minutes, isn't it? So that we don't spill over to the next session. So let's meet in 15 minutes time.
Let's meet again 10 past, right?
Yes, that will be 10 past.
15 minutes, right.
Okay, the links are there in the chat so that you are free to join any, as long as if you find you're someone that you maybe interact with on a day-to-day basis, you can switch to a different one. If that's allowed. But in case you go to group 1,
you say there are 2 or 3 breakout rooms?
Sorry.
Did you say that we
Sorry,
have
I didn't hear.
2 or 3 breakout rooms?
We have 3 breakout rooms. So we just go with the 3.
Great. So Robert, just throw us away.
Yeah, I put the links to breakout rooms in the chat, and then after you have finished your session, come back to this main session to discuss. Yeah, I will be here in the main session for any help if it's needed.
Okay.
Hi. We seem to be the same.
And please keep in mind to have one hopping tab opened at the time so that you don't hear yourself through 2 tabs to have an echo and stuff. Yeah, thank you. Bernard, can you please mute your microphone? Thank you.
Before I mute, I'm just going to tell, I think that is Chinanu, Peter, and Shuza. You need to choose breakout that is 1, 2, or 3, and after this join. Okay. I'll go there in 1 minute to see whether they have settled, and then yeah, after I could go there now.
Bernard, you're muted.
So can I get out of this session? I'm in 2 sessions now. So do I have to close this?
Yeah, you can close it. You have the button on the right corner. It says leave, so you can close it.
So I can close it and I'll get back automatically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi, Bernard. I'm back. Did you see?
Wow, I think it's really confusing. When you go to breakout, it retains this session on this side. Ah, interesting. And the session go back. So when you look at me speaking on this side, I was talking on the breakout room. Anyway, let me just switch and go. But it was very interesting. It opens 2 tabs, so when you go to the other tab, you are still visible on this other tab. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the best practice is to close this tab, and after you're finished with your breakout, come back to this D119 workshop to discuss. I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. that is now Carol,
Yeah, Bernard, I'm having problem hearing you. Could you please? Can you please refresh? I can't hear you. Yeah, Bernard, there is a problem with your microphones. I can't hear anything, so please can you?
So, Caro,
Yeah, Bernard,
Chinandu,
now.
Pika, I'm not sure whether you had challenges joining the breakout rooms. Given that I can see there are discussions ongoing, especially breakout room 2 and 3. 1, I don't think has anyone, but 2 and 3 have people. Yeah, so, only 3 minutes left, so it will be important if you can join. I don't know whether you're saying something.
Yes, I'm on now.
I don't know whether you're saying something. Can't hear.
Yes, I'm saying something right now. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Carol, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Can you please turn down the microphone a little bit?
Can you please turn down the microphone a little bit?
Okay, let me try.
Because there is a lot of echo.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, but
we can hear you, but
there's an echo through your microphone. Are you using Chrome browser?
Yes, I'm using Chrome browser.
Okay, could you please refresh the session and connect again?
All right, I'll do that. I'll do that. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Is it okay?
It's much better now. Yes.
All right. I'm sorry I missed whatever was going on because I couldn't hear. Hello?
Hello.
I don't know if we're at a stage where I can make a comment or not. Or I'm just.
Could you repeat the question?
I don't know at what stage we're on because I couldn't hear what is going on. So at which stage are we at right now?
So we are at the workshop, Africa Design. And now we are waiting for participants to come back to the main session. They are in a breakout room during discussion.
All right. Okay, thank you very much.
No problem, Carol.
Thank you.
Robert, I thought they are supposed to be back at 10 past. Or what was the setting this time round?
It's 10 past 3 now, so I assume that people will come back now to the main session.
I can't hear you. Is it my problem on my side or something?
Can you hear me?
Anything.
Yeah, please refresh. Can you hear me now?
Ah, okay. Strange. Okay, just refresh.
Hello, welcome back.
No.
Yeah, so, okay. Morgan, you can hear me? Okay. Yeah, so I can see the teams were given additional minutes or seconds. So let's hope they'll be back so that we ensure that we don't, I'm trying to ensure that we don't eat into the time for the next.
That's a good question. There should not be secret plans.
How come I can't hear? What's happened all of a sudden?
That's
okay. Sorry. There's a mute on the this is serious. And there's a mute on the tab. So I muted also. You can unmute here, but then if you don't unmute up on the tab, it's you remain muted. Okay.
This is a mess.
Fine.
Robert.
Yeah, hello, yes.
Yeah, it's serious.
Hello?
Okay, can be confusing, but anyway, interesting to learn new things.
I hear you, Margareta.
Robert?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Robert, there are so many.
I can hear both of you. Hello, Robert. For me, you can hear me. Robert has dropped off or something.
Yeah.
Morgan, you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So Robert, I think is refreshing.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So is it that we gave them additional time or what? They are supposed to have been back.
Okay. I can go to these sessions and tell them to come back. Is it okay?
Yes, close it. Yeah, because I know
Okay.
the next question we don't want to.
Okay, okay. I will try to go to the rooms and tell them that you kindly asked to come back.
Aha. Okay. Okay. Because I think I'm only left with 5 minutes for my session, and then there is supposed to be a break. That is how many minutes? I know the discussions are interesting, but now time is also not our friend.
Mm-hmm.
Are we coming back
I
to
don't
one?
know, maybe there's a way to just close the breakout rooms the way you do it on Zoom. It gives you a timer.
Okay, I
Teacher?
think the people are coming back now.
Oh, Robert.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, but I think that's because I personally didn't know how to go back, so Jesse told me. So I don't know if the other people know how to come back to the main session. Maybe we can.
Perhaps you can go to those rooms and call them back.
Yeah,
Robert?
that's what
I mean,
Robert?
2 of the rooms are here, right? So
Yeah,
which is the
Margareta, I
room?
can hear you.
Close.
It's only
which
rooms.
Close.
Breakout
They're back.
room 1 didn't
Yeah,
have anyone. Most people went to 2 and 3. Okay. So then all of us are back, I can see. There are those who are still joining slowly, but almost. As I said, I don't want us to spill over to the next, and we would also like you to have some break. So we'll go straight to the presentation. We only have 2 teams. That is breakout 2 and 3. So you could hear from you. Perhaps each breakout room takes maybe 3 minutes to present, and then we go for a break. Okay, so which one team goes first? We can go numerically. Number 2 first.
Yeah, who go first?
Okay. So 2.
Okay, I guess I can summarize this again. So in Strathmore, there are similar modules, and they address a large number of students, but in implementation, not a lot of participants like try and facilitate what the purpose of this is. And the way these courses are designed is that people usually teach in between their own field, so it's very restricted, and they do not take up interdisciplinary projects as easily. But in another scenario, like they're also like somebody copy pasted over here. Sorry. Yes, and Professor Margareta was telling how people are ready to try new ways of teaching, even though they might not be like proven scientifically, but like you learn from each other's experiences that it has worked before or it's useful, and they're willing to try new ways of teaching. And we also discussed a fourth question, even though it's a little out of our group, but for the successful engagement with the stakeholders, we also depend on the attitude of the students and the teachers, because the stakeholders are very enthusiastic to present and share the challenges and come up with solutions for it, but it also depends on the participants as well. That is all I could get because of the network issues, but if there's anything else anyone else wants to add, please do.
That's fine, thank you.
We have breakout room 3 next.
Yes, so maybe Milena, is it possible for you to present on behalf of our team?
I had unmuted, sorry. So thank you, breakout room 2. So 3, yeah. I don't know who's presenting. Please proceed.
Dunya, do you want to take it? Since I don't know if Milena will be able to join, or Shuza, or Jesse.
I can just okay. I was not putting the note down, but I can among the discussion which you had, talking about barriers and opportunities. I mean, when it comes to this kind of program, what I mean, I will build up with what Margareta. The attitude really matters because whether it's the students or the teachers, how they approach this matters so that both they can come into in sync. Because, for example, if any of those two parties do not see much value into this, this might not end up being something of value at all. So both of them, they might have to come in together so that they can work for a common goal and understand that this is something that we really need. Talking about question 3 about the aspects which are important for us to have a better engagement of external stakeholders. One of the things that we discussed in the group is making sure that the stakeholder that we are approaching or the approach that we are bringing is also in their interest. I mean, so that at least they can feel concerned in the kind of project that we are doing. So making sure that the interest that we are, whatever we are asking them as well, they find an interest in that. And then another one is making sure that there is project continuation. I mean, after the project has ended, is there other something else we can go get back from the stakeholders, so that at least because one of the things is I mean, since it's a student project, the stakeholder might think, oh, this student, once they are done with this project, they're just going to put it in the library. So I might not engage as much because it's not a real project. But once you put there the idea of this is going to continue in the future, the stakeholders might engage much better. Another one which we put there was on communication, knowing what time to reach out to the stakeholders, how much time should you allocate into that activity will be also better so that we can have a better stakeholder engagement. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shuza, for representing your team. I can see quite a number of, when you're speaking about incentives, I remember when I try to motivate people to do some of the things that I do, I have to start from the other end, the incentive and the benefits before I go to telling them what I want them to do. And it works sometimes. So I think that the world that we live in, it works for some people. For others, they see things from a different perspective. Yes, but I think I also appreciate the work that you've done. And I don't know whether you have any comment to add. Otherwise, I know our time is up, so I will, without disturbing you, I will have to close the session. Isn't it? Niharika or Michelle, I think our time is up, isn't it? Yeah. So.
Yes, it is. Niharika will share the
Yeah,
PowerPoint.
so unfortunately, I'll have to stop there. I know there are other many discussion items that you would have wanted to us to discuss, especially on those particular discussion points, but we have to take a break so that then we are in time for the next session. So it was a pleasure facilitating the session with
maybe,
Anders. And thank you, Anders, for being my co-facilitator.
Thank you, Anders. Thank you, Anders. And please, this document, we could follow up and discuss on it. So we're not finishing here, right?
Yes, please just share the link to the document. I hope it's not
Yeah. Thank you so much. Now time is yeah, that's right. You put 5 minutes there. That's good. We could make it 6. So we come back at 35 after the current hour.
At 30?
35. No, sorry. 30.
At 30.
30. I'm sorry. Difficult issues. Please.
5 minutes.
Make a little break. Bye.
Okay.
Hello, Ronald. Could you please unmute your microphone while not speaking? Thank you in advance.
So, welcome back, all of you. Very little breaks today, but after this last session, we could have an afterward session, couldn't we? To have it more open. Okay, now we are going to another type of a more informative, informative kind of session. We are happy to have some really good experts on tools for design for sustainability. There are a lot, but we had to choose, and we have 5 different experts that we are really proud to have here. And I say the name first. It's Mr. Ronald van der Poel, and I see that you're here. Welcome, Ronald. And we have Dr. John Wade. Let me see if I can see you. No, not now. Hopefully it will show up. And we have Professor Jess Austin Branneman, as I've seen him several times before. Yes, there you are. We have Dr. Tyler Sommer from DTU, Denmark. She has the time and she will probably show up. And also we have Dr. Navid Manai from Granta. The tough rules of the game now is that we have half an hour exactly, and we have these 5 good experts. All of them, I'm sure, wanting to tell us a lot about their products. But I would kindly ask you to keep to 5 minutes each, because in the discussion there are no specific space for discussion, but you could put your web addresses or your coordinates or anything you want in the chat, so people will surely come back to you. But we're very happy to present this menu of good tools. So very welcome, Ronald van der Poel.
Thank you very much. Will you share the presentation, the short presentation I created, or do you want me to share it?
Well, I have to ask Margareta.
Yeah, just a second. I can share it.
Okay.
Try and pull it up.
Thank you.
Yeah, just a second.
Just to kind of make sure we kind of I adhere to the time, so I already start.
This is okay?
Yep, thank you. Welcome. My name is Ronald van der Poel. I represent MathWorks, and I manage our team in Europe, Middle East, and Africa that works on higher education. MathWorks is a developer of mathematical computing software for engineers and scientists. And if you move to the next page, our software is used to design products as we all rely on. Maybe to the next page. Yep, thanks. And also for breakthroughs transforming how we live, learn, and work. And there's many sustainability activities ongoing where our software plays also kind of a role. And just scanning the agenda for the design conference, there are many important topics listed where our software is a strong and often used product. I just picked out a few, just browsing the agenda: AI optimization, system engineering. There are kind of many to find. Can you move to the next page? And so the 2 main software families that MathWorks develops are called MATLAB and Simulink. MATLAB is a programming environment for algorithm development, while Simulink is a block diagram environment to design, simulate, and test systems. Can you move to the next page? We're almost there. Yes, thanks. Our software is extensively used in industry, but the same thing is true for usage in education and research. And that kind of makes it a strong tool because of the fact that it's kind of used across all these different domains. And I want to share a few of our license and support offerings that can help improve learning, impact research, and most importantly, foster collaboration nationally and internationally. So looking at the license offering first, and start with the campus-wide license that's listed on the left side here on the slide. The campus-wide license is licensed by many universities, and they provide, these universities provide with this, all their staff and students, unlimited flexible access to our products. And it's covering many STEM students worldwide. In the handout, all these links are active. You can click on the check for access button, and you will see if a campus-wide license is available to you. If it's not available, you can check with me, but there's also it's important to mention that this license also includes access rights. A campus-wide license includes access rights for on-site visitors and online international collaborators. So in case your university works together with students that don't have access, you can provide them the legal access to the software. Looking at research, as you know, research projects can be compute intensive and based on huge central stored data sets. We help to provide easy access in those circumstances at science gateways where researchers come together to collaborate. The European Grid Initiative is a good example, EGI. If you're using a science gateway to do your research and you want to use a software while it's not present, check in with me. I can probably help you with this. Same thing at universities. If you at the university have an accelerator or incubator to support students starting their own company, we can assist you for free access with incubator licenses. Next and last slide.
Okay, thank you.
Good, thanks. So besides the software licenses, we also have a large range of free offerings to help support, educate, research, and make a link with industry. And just to name a few, because again, these links are all active, so you can search for yourself what is for more details. But we have a wide range of teaching resources, from complete sets of material, curriculum material, to modular exercises, to virtual lab materials, MOOCs, books, etc. We facilitate educator collaboration in the form of educator workshops. The next one is in H2. We support capstone projects for undergrad and graduate students, also with many sustainability examples. For students to gain practical experience and insight into industry through our Excellent in Innovation program. We offer awards for researchers, where we try to collaborate with researchers to accelerate the impact of academic research in industry. And maybe the last thing to mention is we support quite a number of student competitions, and that can be competitions we organize ourselves. We have a mini drone competition coming up for Europe and one for Africa in September. We do student competitions with universities where you kind of reach out to us and we can help organize a hackathon or a competition. And we support generic competitions like Formula Student or RoboCup. And I listed here one that might be interesting, which is the Pan-African Robotics Competition. This year it's focused on sustainable impact, where students will be challenged to develop solutions for climate change adaptation in Africa. So that was a lot of information in 5 minutes.
Thank you.
All the
Yes,
links are
very
active.
short.
My email address is in there. So thanks.
It's very short.
Thank you,
Thank
Rana.
you very much. And please leave your coordinates and so in the chat. It would be great, so everyone will get more information can find you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And then we pass right to John Wayne. Are you here?
I think that John is not here.
He's not. Okay, then we will go further to Jeff, please. Who has been here?
Yeah, I'm here. It might be very early on the West Coast. I don't know where John is. I think I messed up the slides one. If you can go one slide forward, and then we'll go back. So hi, so my name's Jesse Austin Brenneman. I'm an assistant professor here at the University of Michigan. But in this next 5 minutes, I'm representing ASME, which is American Society of Mechanical Engineers. Very similar to the Design Society, but as I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. But specifically, I am the co-chair for the Research for Engineering for Global Development Committee. And that's part of the Engineering for Change organization, which is part of ASME, but is a nonprofit that allows them to work with lots of other different organizations in a less restrictive way than perhaps ASME might. Can we go to the first slide? Sorry to make it complicated. So I just wanted to talk about some of the resources that engineering. I'm gonna just mute Carol first. There we go. So resources that Engineering for Change might has that you might use if you were doing a design project time. Yes, Panos?
Hi, Carol. Can you please mute?
I think I muted Carol.
We can't mute ourselves. We can't mute ourselves.
Did you have something else? Should I just keep going?
Yeah, it's okay. Just proceed. I think we muted.
Okay, I'll just proceed. All right. So there's two types of resources that Engineering for Change offers that I think people performing sustainability design projects, especially in a wide variety of contexts, that might be useful. So the first is they've done a bunch of research reports, so trends in different sectors. So for example, EGD here stands for Engineering for Global Development. So this talks about the state. They've compiled all of the different actors and stakeholders and organizations and university programs that are in each of these geographic locations. So that's a really great resource if you're on a team, you're looking for universities nearby that might be working that, or organizations that might be working in that, people that might be working in global development. It's a great resource. They also do sort of state-of-the-art trends within different sectors. So water treatment, food management, things like that. They'll have these research sort of white papers that you can go and look at if you're doing a particular project. Can we go to the 2 slides forward, I guess? Yeah, so the next thing they have is what they call the 50 Breakthroughs projects, where they got a team of experts to put together what are sort of, if you're looking for a problem to work on, what are the 50 breakthrough technologies that are needed to really advance the Sustainable Development Goals? So they went with a team of experts and sort of categorized what are sort of the 50 technologies we all should be working on to try and really move the needle on this SDGs. So that's a great resource if you have student teams that are looking for design prompts, or you're an organization yourself looking to work into. So this gives you a lot of information about those. That's a whole report, so you can go to the website there. Next slide. And then they also have a solutions library. So they work a lot with industry and sort of as a catalyst for matchmaking and putting together a lot of different stakeholders. So if you're a team and you want to see what other solutions are out there for a problem similar to yours, they have a pretty extensive solutions library that you can go check out. And that can be a great design tool early on in the design process. A resource for you, not design tool, design resource for you to be able to do that. The other thing that they do, if we go to the next slide, is what I would call their community sort of offerings. They have these fellowships called Engineering for Change fellowships. They've been running it for several years. You can apply to be one yourself. Go to this website. But also it's a community of experts that they're building that you can then go and network. So I myself have used it on design projects where I might look through their Engineering for Change fellows and find somebody who has the expertise that I might need, and they're building that sort of network. And so that's a really good resource for design teams. Next slide. Just trying to stay on time. I think I have 2 more minutes. So webinars, shameless plug, I moderate a series of webinars, but they have these webinars. So if you're on a design team, they have different topics and they record all of them. So you can go back and take a look and see, again, getting that expertise and connecting with other stakeholders is an important part. And then last slide. The ASME iShow, they have a regional competition for social entrepreneurs. They have it in India, they have it in the US, they have it in Europe, they have it in Africa. So, if you have a company or a small startup, this is a good way you can win money directly from the show, but the main purpose is to sort of act as an incubator for social enterprises. So if you're trying to take that design project to the next level, they can connect you with people to help you put together an application for iShow. And it's a really great, the iShow India just happened last week, and so you can check out winners, and so there's a whole resource again of solutions, but mainly connecting you in terms of sort of that incubator. And that's what I have for you. My contact is there. I'll put it in the chat. If anyone's interested in any of the Engineering for Change offerings, I can make sure to connect you to the right people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jess. It's very, very useful for many of us and many of. So we have, and there was a lot of details. So I'm sure we can have the slides, possibly also in the package after this workshop. I hope we can, because there was so many good addresses and so forth. Thank you very much. Very interesting. Now we're heading to Denmark, to Dr. Tyler Zoomer, to her about, because in PTU there has been a lot of development of tools for sustainable design, and here's one of them. You're welcome, Tyler.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Tyler. I'm a researcher at the Ready to Loop project. And yes, as has been said, we work in our research group developing a range of tools that can help designers and companies in making the transition to a more sustainable society. And one of these tools, the one I'm going to present today, is the Ready to Loop, which is a tool for companies to make their a self-assessment of their readiness level for the transition to a circular economy. Can you go to the next slide, please? So this tool, it's an online platform. It's completely free. And as I said, it's a tool for companies to assess their readiness, how ready, how prepared they are for making the transition to a circular economy. Because in the transition to a circular economy, they need to change a range of aspects inside the organization. And there wasn't so far a tool available for companies to make this assessment and to know where they are and what are the gaps that remain when transitioning to a circular economy. So the project emerged in, can you go next, please? Yeah, one more, please. Yes, in 2017. No, please, come back to the previous one. I'm sorry. It just because there's some animation. So the project is started in 2017, and we developed this online platform, and it's basically a questionnaire where the companies can create a profile and go and perform a self-assessment following different dimensions that should be changed. And at the end, they get a kind of score of the readiness level and also access to more than 100 tools that can help them to improve the areas that they actually need to be improved to make the transition to happen. So this project is starting in 2017 and was focused on manufacturing companies. And then since then, we have had more than 500 from companies from different sectors in different parts of the world, including Africa, sign up and making the self-assessment. But then we also observed that actually it's not just about manufacturing companies. The other companies in a value chain also need support when making the transition. So the project evolved to become the Ready to Loop, and now we are expanding the platform to cover other positions in the value chain. So we are developing a tailored assessment approach to other companies. For example, if you are a waste valorizer or if you are a materials provider, what you need to make to change to make the transition to happen. Can you go to the next slide, please? And this tool, as the other tools that we developed, are completely based on science. So we take a science-based approach in the development of these tools. And can you go next, please? Yes. So for the Ready to Loop, we developed the platform based on scientific research. We did a systematic literature review. Can you go? Can just go? Can keep going? Yes. And we after that, we identified a range of dimensions and aspects of change that should be considered by companies. And then we did a validation in multiple workshops with experts and also companies to validate the approach. And actually, we published a paper on the methodology. So if you are interested, I can share the paper with you later on. Can you go to the next slide, please? And then in this development, we identified 8 dimensions that should be considered in the transition to the circular economy. So it's like this representation of the 8 dimensions, but they involve, for example, strategy and business model change, product and service innovation, take-back systems. Can you go to the next slide, please? And the assessment is based on a scale, like a 5-point scale, where the companies go and assess dimension by dimension, their readiness level, aspect by aspect. And at the end, they get a score, as I said. Can you go to the next one, please? Here's just an example of one of the dimensions. For example, the strategy and business model innovation dimension. It measures the readiness. It's related to the capabilities to enable, for example, a long-term strategy to be developed in alignment with circular economy principles. Can you go to the next one, please? The other example is a take-back system, which is like another dimension, and end-of-life strategies. And readiness of take-back systems and end-of-life strategies measures the capabilities that you will ensure maximize value at the end of the life of the products. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yes. So the companies go assessing their readiness levels dimension by dimension, and in each dimension there are a range of aspects that they consider, and at the end they get a score. They get also support, like a report with description of the current status of the readiness along the different dimensions, and they also get recommendations on how to improve their readiness, and also access to these more than 100 tools that we developed and also identified in a literature review. Can you go to the next slide, please? We collaborated with a range of companies in the project, like to develop accelerators and also to validate our assumptions, and they also performed their readiness assessment. So here are some examples of companies that joined the project. Can you go to the last one? Yes, so the question is, how ready are you? And if you have, you have been working with companies and can maybe recommend the online platform to them, and also explore how you could help these companies in your projects to make the transition to a circular economy. And you can also create a profile yourself and explore what is there. There's lots of things that we developed, and it's all available in there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. It's really interesting, and I guess there is a lot of information that you can find on the web. You had the web address there, and please also put it in the chat so people can use this one. It's another good tool to use if you really want to check about your success factors. Thank you very much, Tyler. And last but not least, Dr. Navid Manal from Granta Udupak. Would you please come? We win some minutes now because we lost one of the speakers, but you're welcome, and we still have 5 minutes plus to it. I think you're muted. No, you're not. Do we hear you? Now you're muted.
Navid, please try to close up the Chrome browser and start it up again. Sometimes Chrome doesn't recognize your microphone input, so.
Oh. There is time for any one of you to put one question. If we can have time for the answers, I won't promise, but while waiting, there can be questions either to Ronald or to Tyler, or to Jesse, of course.
Megan, maybe as we're waiting for the questions, I can just communicate that we plan to issue certificates for attending the workshop. So if you could kindly input your names at the top of the document, of the working document we were using, it would be really nice. Yes, so the link is in the chat.
Okay.
Hello, Navid. Could you please?
So there, you show that.
Yeah, we don't hear you.
Repeat that by the end. So
no,
Navid, can we hear you? No.
You're muted, Navid.
Yeah, another solution, maybe take your microphone input out of the computer, then put it back in again, and then turn up the Chrome again after the computer recognizes your input. Sometimes this is a bug that can happen. So
Don't worry. No? We can't. Have you unmuted?
yeah.
Okay.
Another solution is to allow the Chrome browser to use your microphone as an input. That can be another problem.
Look, can I suggest
Yes,
that as
now we
we are
hear you.
getting close, is he talking?
Yes, I think you can hear me now.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
Great.
That was
Great.
a journey. Right.
So you're welcome, please.
Thank you very much. So let me share my screen. There we go. And can you let me know that you can actually see my screen, please?
Yes, we now
Perfect. Thank you for the kind introductions. I'll try to as fast as possible.
Navid, we lost
Is
the
he
connection.
frozen?
Yeah.
Is he
I
frozen?
think
Oh
he's
man,
frozen.
this is a journey.
Oh yeah.
Navid, if you can hear us, please refresh the session.
Oh, this is too bad. With the package that supports students, that's very good. So we get curious, don't we?
So while I was waiting, and since I'll be doing the last 15 minutes, I was going to give advance notice to some of our colleagues who are attending, but have not said anything until now, like Tadeo, Sakano, and a few others, that I would like to call upon you to say something so that you be a real participant. So please wait for me to call upon you in just a couple of minutes as Navid gets going.
Yeah, I think it might. Can you hear me well now?
Yes. Now we hear
Okay,
you.
I think it might be better for me not to share my video. That might be, sometimes that helps. So let me, if that's okay with you guys. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so yes, we are going to explore how ANSYS can support educators in teaching sustainability to engineering students. Of course, ANSYS has many different capabilities for this, but specifically for today, we are going to focus on the software called ANSYS Granta EduPack. So we've noticed in research of how effectively we would be able to help educators in teaching sustainability and integrating into engineering curriculums that if this subject is part of practical projects that require a range of technical skills, then it would be much more successful in its integration. And the second thing that we noticed was that having sustainability throughout the curriculum of an engineering student from year one to the final year, again, is much more effective in teaching this concept as opposed to having a standalone course that students would be done with when they are done with that course. So hopefully EduPack would be helpful for these 2 points. What is EduPack? Well, it's a unique educational software which is currently being used in more than 1,400 universities and colleges across the world. And it provides students with an encyclopedia of materials and process data, as well as powerful visualization, selection, and estimation tools to interrogate that data, essentially. And academics who use EduPack also have access to more than 200 teaching and learning resources that we have available on our website. These are lecture units, case studies, micro projects, and so on. In this slide, you can see the databases and tools that can be available within the software. So as you can see, databases are essentially categorized into introductory and advanced core databases. On the introductory sides, we have information for about 100 materials and processes. And as you can see on the right-hand side, on the advanced databases, there is much more information about a lot more materials available. In this slide, I've included a typical data sheet for one of the materials, ABS, in one of the introductory databases. As you can see, we have images of components that are manufactured using specific materials, as well as engineering properties, for example, mechanical attributes, thermal, electrical, optical attributes, as well as durability. But we do also have in these material records environmental attributes of materials, and these, of course, as you can see, include embodied energy, CO2 footprint, and water usage for primary production of materials, as well as their processing. We do also have information about end-of-life attributes of materials, including whether the material is recyclable or not, and if it is recyclable, what is the environmental impact of that recyclability is mentioned here. As you can see, students are they are able to visualize this data in visual charts, as you can see in this slide, and compare materials and categories of materials in terms of any of these attributes, including, in this case, as you can see, the CO2 footprint and yield strength. So this can be a very helpful and interactive resource for students to know a bit more about environmental attributes of materials. We do have a dedicated tool in the software called Eco Audit, with which students can investigate the environmental impact of products. It is essentially a streamlined lifecycle audit tool with which students would be able to, as you can see, essentially investigate how the energy consumption or CO2 footprint in different stages of the life of a product can actually have an impact on the environment. So as you can see, on the material, manufacture, transport, use phase, disposal phase, and so on. So as a typical, this is my last slide, as a typical methodology that can be used for eco-design projects, what is typically used by academics is that students, when they are running these eco-design projects, they can run a quick eco-audit with which they would be able to identify which phase of life of the product has the most significant impact on the environment. They can quickly analyze what-if scenarios and alternative scenarios for the product. So for example, if you change a material as part of the product, or a manufacturing process, or a transport, how that actually changes the impact on the environment. And then they can use the material selection tools available in the software to identify materials that have a lower embodied energy or are lighter, so that this environmental impact can be further mitigated. As part of the tool, the students would also be able to click on each of these phases, and the software would let them know about the strategies that they can use in order to essentially reduce this impact as well. So that's a summary of what we talked about today. If you think that this would be helpful for your students, please feel free to get in touch with us at ANSYS, and we will be more than happy to provide more information for you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, it was really good, and we all have the email address there on education@ansys.com. So that's really nice. That's really, thank you all.
Thank you.
All four of you, and we missed one off, but we got very good explanations. If you have one question, it can be possible, but otherwise, we turn the microphone to Panos, to Professor Papalambros, to make some reflection and questions, and also some closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Margareta. Thank you, all the presenters of the sessions and the organizers. I would like to actually use a slightly different arrangement by going, as I mentioned, to the list of the participants, and try to ask you to make one final comment, particularly those of you who did not say much or anything. And what I would like is to say two things. One is, I like something and I wish something. So the I like part for me, for example, is I like that we had so many of our colleagues here today. I wish we had more time and fewer technical problems. So that's an example. So can I call to Tadeusz Sakano, make a I wish and I like statement, please. Tadeusz, are you there? I don't know. I see the names. Maybe they're not. I'll go to the next one. Carin, Bene?
Karin has been here.
Yeah.
But she also had some problems.
I will continue.
Yeah.
Peter? Peter, can you say something? This is the technical side that we're talking about. I'll keep going and I'll come back. Milena? I don't have much luck. Asusa?
Asusa?
Nina? Okay, I've run out of people who didn't say anything, so I'll open it up and I'll ask, let's try. Yeah, Bernard.
I think Akash is there. I'm seeing something on the chat. Okay, unless they are not working.
So can you say something I like, I wish? Okay, he's having difficult. Okay, how about Tona? Can you say some I like, I wish, please?
You must unmute, please.
Sorry, I think I like the way the workshop was organized, some breaks in between, and the extensive discussion in the breakout rooms. And I wish we had more time.
Totona, I think you have to unmute. We can't hear you. We can see you talking, but we can't hear you.
We can hear him.
I could hear him, yeah.
I did hear you.
I can't. Oh, I guess I can.
Should I go again?
No. Well, you can try, but we heard you. It's just Jesse didn't. That's very strange. Okay, Chinandu, can I ask call on you, please?
Sorry. Okay, I like the session that we had today. It was very interesting, and I wish more of my colleagues had been able to attend, especially the younger ones. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good point, Chinandu.
Who else can I pick on? Asusa, I keep seeing you. Are you still there? Bernard, how's your situation? Can you talk?
Bernard, maybe try to refresh the session if you're having problem with audio.
So maybe I'll go to Magan. Professor Norell.
I like the interest you showed and the patience with the technical problems, and I wish we would all meet in the same room next time. I would prefer that.
Yeah.
Thank
you. Professor Jesse.
I really liked hearing all the comments from people's experiences about the cross-university collaborations, especially with teaching. And I wish that we had more time to take real action on those and maybe develop some new partnerships.
Right. Dunya?
Thank you. I like that you all joined this workshop and supported us for this Africa Design workshop today. And I also wish that we had some more time and less technical challenges for today. And once again, thank you all for joining.
Thank you. Anders? You talked a little bit, but you can talk again if you're there.
Anders.
Maybe not. Asusa, are you still there? Can you talk?
Yes, I'm still there. I think I also like the workshop. It was really quite insightful. I think I like more the discussion we had in the breakout rooms, and it has really opened. So I hope we are going to share the documents where we are putting the answers, so that we can probably do some summaries from there, and also add on that, so that you can continue the conversation. As well, probably if we could have less technical challenges, that could have been very excellent. But thank you for the organizing team. It was really wonderful.
Thank you, Asusa. How about Michelle?
I like that despite the technical difficulties, we were able to successfully conclude the workshop. I wish to see this participants and their colleagues and more attend and engage with us on more Africa design related activities, and you can find that information on our website. We have an event called Barazas, and these Barazas are more open like discussions, and it will be nice to have and great to have your company. Yes, so thank you all for participating.
Thank you, Michelle. Niharika, could you be the last one, please?
Yes. Well, as a student, it's really nice to see so many professors and professionals just so enthusiastic to make a difference in students' lives, and also like kind of lead the way into the future, I could say. It's very interesting, all the things you talked about, because it's so different from what I've grown up with, and so many things like we've gone through in our education. So, and what I would like is like what Professor Jesse mentioned, just being able to actually take initiative on this and form more collaborations. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So I would like to, is anyone else wants to say one thing? I have one announcement I want to make before we close.
Maybe, Panos, we could remind, or please, under the common document, write your name and coordinates, so we can find each other if you're interested in collaboration.
Thank you. So just to remind you, this Google Doc that we've generated, it's open and available to you. So even after the session, while things are still fresh, please add some more thoughts, information, anything you want, and then that'll help us to process and generate the report for this workshop. The last announcement I want to make is that the Design Society has asked this group to actually create an Africa chapter of the Design Society. That can be a big deal in the sense that we'll have a much more formal and more challenging role in terms of creating this chapter. I would be, and we will be sending more information to everyone, but the basic point from our current steering committee is that we need more, and the dominant group in this steering committee to be from Africa-based, and the second thing is we would like to also get help and recruit support for this from the private sector, including companies like those presenting today that have an interest in growing, for that matter, their business in education and practice in Africa. Because if you think in the long term, there are huge opportunities there, even for businesses, not just for education. So with these thoughts, I would like to thank everyone, the organizers, the speakers, the participants, and wish you a nice rest of the day. And thank you for staying with us throughout these technical challenges. And Robert, thank you very much. I won't ask you what you wish.
Yeah,
No.
unfortunately, we had some kind of technical problems today. It's it's
No
not.
problem. It's
I'm
fine.
sorry. Yeah.
First day.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Professor.
Thank you.
Thank everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.